Welcome back to Indiana Diecast Racing and the continuing action of the Final Fantasy Fracas. Today we've got a special surprise, not two, but three groups, which is one entire group better than two. First up, it's Group 24 with G4 Diecast's Monkey G, Monkey Do. The Simian put up 14 with his hot tub in round 1. Live Young Diecast and Lone Star only sent 3 entries, and he's down to this final chance at making round 3 in a Space Ranger Alpha Buzz. In round 1, Lone Star won 3 laps to advance. Representing the venerable but funky Mother Chicken Racing team, it's Sephiroth in a Basilisk that he drove to a second place finish behind Rambo of Flips Racing in the first round. And rounding out today's opening action is Numbskull in yet another one of his bubble gunners. He took this particular vehicle to a second place finish in round 1 after winning 2 laps and DNFing the other 2. Here we go, the Monkey of G4 and the Space Ranger of Live Young up front, Team Chicken and Bubble Gum in the back. Monkey G and Sephiroth start strong, Lone Star charging hard and Lone Star gains the advantage. Monkey G fights off Numbskull for second and the front pair gets some separation. They come to the line, and it's Lone Star, Monkey G, Numbskull. Whoa! Sephiroth a little wild, but he finishes for 4th. A pretty competitive lap today, with the winner being decided in turn 2. Lone Star goes to infinity and beyond, which in this case equals 4 points. They rotate around, putting Sephiroth and Monkey G up front. Lone Star's slow in the back, while Sephiroth momentarily slides in front. Through turn 2, and Monkey G unable to complete the pass. He falls behind Numbskull, who challenges Sephiroth. Sephiroth rolls in turn 5 and gets snowplowed around the square. Numbskull breaks free. Ooh, Lone Star smashes into the pile, and we've got a triple DNF on our hands, courtesy of a funky wrecking chicken. An unfortunate result for Sephiroth, who gets a bump from Numbskull, flying into turn 5 too fast and high and rolling on his roof. I almost thought he'd roof slide all the way to the finish, but Monkey G rolls too, then they get smacked by Lone Star, all while Numbskull runs away with the steal. The triple donut allows Numbskull to jump past Monkey G and Lone Star for a 2-point lead at the halfway point. Numbskull on the pole, he'll start up front for the remaining laps. He flies out of the gate and Sephiroth won't be able to challenge. Numbskull gets way ahead. Monkey G looks inside Sephiroth, but Sephiroth holds on for second, followed by Monkey G and Lone Star. Monkey G times it perfectly, getting a nose on the inside in the final turn, but he doesn't quite have the momentum or the space to clear Sephiroth. Numbskull locks up the group win with back-to-back lap victories. Everyone else only separated by a point as we hit the track for lap 4. Lone Star and Numbskull up front, Monkey G and Sephiroth in the back. The inside lane has had a little more luck than usual lately, but that's not going to hold true this time as Numbskull blasts down the hill. Lone Star in good position with his competitors solidly behind him. Monkey G trying to catch him. Lone Star spins, gets hit, and beats Monkey G to the line by a half car length. And that will put him through to round 3, edging out the G4 driver by a single point. On to Group 25 with Grey Wizard of Golden Owl Racing in his Salt Flat Racer. In round 1, he put up 14 and outpaced DRT3K's Cookie Monster, who recently moved on to round 3 herself. From Arlo Racing in his 3D printed Pro Track Gravity Bloodhound, it's Dan D-Lo. Dan took second behind another of Grey Wizard's entries in round 1. One of 2 remaining drivers from Puff's White Squad, it's Riot Isaac. In the first round, Riot drove his speed driver to a first place tie with Dogtown Racing's Pool Guy, taking 2 lap W's in the process. And batting cleanup, Napoleon is representing Grumpy Cloud Racing in his silver and purple Alpha Pursuit. Napoleon won a lap and took second way back in Group 24 of the first round. It's Wizard and Dilo up front, Riot and Napoleon in the back. I don't know why that P4 position is always slow out of the gate, but Napoleon lags behind as Grey Wizard commands the lead. Turn 2, no help to Dilo as Wizard and Riot pull away. Something happens in Echo Base and Dilo is all over Riot Isaac. Grey Wizard is gonna sail to a lap victory. Riot spins in for second, Dilo is third, and Napoleon rolls across slow for fourth. It's tough to tell, but Riot may have gotten a bit hung up on the wall, slowing way down and allowing Dilo to catch up. One down and group favorite Grey Wizard sits upon the top of the standings. Riot assumes the pole for lap 2. Riot pulls out front, and good lord, he's faster than I thought. Wizard makes up some ground in turn 2, but right now it's all Riot Isaac. Again, he's slow in Echo Base, and Grey Wizard is right there. Wizard continues to challenge, but Riot Isaac will hold on to win. Dilo and Napoleon cross for third and fourth. Another smooth lap puts Riot tied at the top with Grey Wizard. Napoleon now on the pole, he'll need a strong second half to have a chance at digging out of his 5-point hole. Dan follows him around turn 1, but already Riot and Wizard are pouring on the coals. Riot is loose and spins around an Echo Base, but everybody keeps rolling. It's the closest Group 25 has been today, with Riot leading wrench first. Collision, and Napoleon drives over the top of Riot Isaac to make a late double pass, stealing a much-needed lap victory. That was absolutely bananas, and hands down one of the most aggressive passes in IDR history. Both Riot and Wizard spin in front of Napoleon, who resorts to shooting the gap on the side, nearly launching himself off the track as he climbs Riot's car. With his second place finish, Riot Isaac all but locks in his spot in round 3, while Grey Wizard's lead over Napoleon is down to 3. The underdogs Dilo and Napoleon share the front row and will need to make something happen on lap 4. I gotta say, Riot from Puffs has been a pleasant surprise today. Dan noses ahead of Napoleon, and Grey Wizard is right there to defend his spot in round 3. Contact in Echo Base, and they come out single file, Napoleon now back in third. Dan pulling away a bit, he spins, but holds on for the win, and Riot Isaac gives Napoleon a taste of his own medicine, making a last-second pass at the line. An exciting second half to close out the day. I think the final scores will make them seem farther apart than they actually were. Grey Wizard and Riot Isaac tie for the group win. And now over to Group 26 with Numskull's second car of the day. From his Drop Tops and Friends team, Numskull trounced his round 1 group with his Dodge Super 8, outscoring them all by 9 points. The second driver of the day for Arlo Racing, Peterson, the Headless, won his group in round 1 and eliminated another Numskull entry in his Patriotic Roadster Bite. From Dragon Wheels Racing, Walter Sobchak is driving the IDR-built Solaire CX-4. In the first round, Walter won a 3-way runoff with Rust Belt's Old Joe and Junkyard Joust's Hot Black Desiato and took the top spot in the group. And the second entry of the day for Golden Owl Racing, Grey Wizard is in his sidekick that took second behind a different Numskull car in round 1. 10 minutes in, and here we go with some bonus racing. Numskull and Peterson up front, Walter and Grey Wizard in the back. Peterson with a nice start on the outside, and he's already outpacing Numskull. Grey Wizard makes up some ground in turn 2, but drops back to the back. Peterson spins, but takes the win just ahead of Numskull. Walter takes third, and Grey Wizard has rolled between turns 5 and 6. Peterson looked fantastic from that front outside starting position, and he holds the lead after 1. Walter assumes the pole for lap 2. He gets a solid start, but here comes Numbskull. Walter just able to fend off Peterson. Everyone screams down the track, and this time it's Numbskull, Walter, Peterson. Oh no! Grey Wizard tumbles off the final straight. That safety barrier apparently unable to hold back that sidekick. Well, there we go. Grey Wizard was somehow able to climb the wall just prior to the safety barrier. It's a good thing we've still got that sub-track safety surface. Numbskull takes a 1-point lead after 2, while Grey Wizard may not stand much of a chance of advancing this entry after a pair of donuts. Lap 3, and this will be Grey Wizard's chance to get in the fight. He gets a little push from Peterson, and he holds the lead into turn 2. Walter just able to get in front, and Numbskull makes the pass in Echo Base. Peterson challenges Wizard, and Numbskull is slow. Walter takes lap 3. Wow! Numbskull is second by a hair, just ahead of Grey Wizard, and this time it's Peterson's turn to DNF. Grey Wizard got the start he needed, but the advantage of that outside lane cannot be understated. Sure enough, this will be it for Grey Wizard's sidekick. Numbskull continues to hold a 1-point lead, Peterson now 3 points behind Walter for second after winning the opening lap. Peterson on the pole, he's got to beat Walter by 3 positions to tie. There they go, and so far so good for Peterson as Walter is stuck in the back. Peterson stays out front through 2, and now Echo Base. Walter is past Grey Wizard, Peterson now needs a miracle. Round the final turn, and it's Peterson, Numbskull, Walter, and Wizard, and that, fans, will wrap things up. Despite winning 2 out of 4 laps, Peterson finds himself on the outside looking in after suffering an unfortunate DNF on lap 3. 5 different teams put drivers through to round 3, including 2 for Numbskull, who increases his total to 4. Congratulations to Numbskull, Grey Wizard, Riot Isaac, and Lone Star. This has been Jim D for Indiana Diecast Racing. Be sure to check in next time for more slightly above mediocre diecast racing and the continuing round 2 action of the Final Fantasy Fracas.